Hello, all. How are all of you today? It's been a week. Wow, a week already. Look at me. My hair's in better shape. Okay, quick question while we're getting this show off. Well, actually, let me wait a minute and get people to populate a little bit because I gotta go off. You can see what's going on here. I gotta go off on this thing behind me. This is really, really causing me a migraine, and this is not good at all. Um, Hmm. Let me start off with welcome to Upfront, Frank Rothstein. That's me on Sky's Crescent Radio. We are, of course, live on Twitch, as you know, because you're on Twitch also. We will also be sharing live to Facebook on the Upfront with Frank Rothstein page, also on the Sky's Crescent Radio page. Matter of fact, everywhere I tell you now, you're going to hear one name with the other. Go to the website, skyscrescentradio.com. And of course, well, I'll give you the email if you want to talk to us. Meantime, there's that stream chat right there next to me. Tell me anything you want. Sitting with me as always, she's back on the gig trail, restringing her guitar, making music, doing everything by herself, driving her car known as the Tank, just doesn't have a turret, I don't think. Everyone say hello to Jade Zabrick. Um, okay, you see this picture behind me? Yes, we all know about my passion for the Oreo. Look at this. This is the new suggestion. Dip it in this stuff. Dip it in this. Dip it in ketchup, mayo, and mustard. Pretty much that means you can mix it together. Let's just dip the Oreo in Russian dressing. This is the idea. This is what social media comes up with. I told you, social media is an evil place. This is what happens. Forget all the tragedies in the world going on at this moment. Forget that we have congressional hearings on a former president. I'm looking at this. Why would anybody want to dunk an Oreo in mustard? Who thought of this? What is going on? This is the end of civilization, as far as I'm concerned. That, and they have a lemon cookie. They're making the cream filling lemon, which, oh, nasty. Oh, just leave it alone. Just dunk it in some milk and have fun with it. That's the only thing you should do. It's the second most perfect thing in the universe after the sun. And as one person told me, but the sun gives us skin cancer. Well, not because we did anything to it. We haven't touched the sun. That's why it's perfect. We haven't gotten anywhere near it. We're screwing with the Oreo. We're getting near that. Oh, this is just bad. This is just bad. Look at those nice, delicious looking cookies, and look how little the cream filling is. That's why you call it shrinkflation. There's not enough. No wonder they had to create a double stuffed and a mega stuffed and every other stuff. Oh, I just want to cry. If you have any comments on the Oreo, please leave it in the stream chat, or you could write to me at upfrontfrank@gmail.com. Upfrontfrank@gmail.com. If you think that Jade should take me off the air and put me in a loony bin somewhere, write to Jade Zabrick at, of course, jadezabrick@gmail.com. In this area, she takes all suggestions. Jade, put in a comment here. Look at this thing. You want to dip your Oreos in mustard or in Russian dressing or even separate the dressing? See, Jade says, nope, nope. That's it. Normally, all she says is howdy, but she can't even say howdy to the dressing. So what am I supposed to do? Much like a burger or whatever else you put this stuff on, supposed to separate the cookie and smear it around and then, ooh, no, I can't do that. All right. I guess you got my feelings on the subject. So anyway, I was watching the Tony Awards last night. We saw what was going on there. Some nice musical numbers and some plays got it. I like the idea that Billy Crystal, with his nominations for Mr. Saturday Night, of course, not the big winner of the evening, but I did like how he had the entire audience at Radio City Music Hall singing and scat singing in Yiddish, which was pretty good by me. That worked for me. It was a good show. I like the musical numbers. I always like Broadway musicals. Some of those songs that you hear, you'll never hear again. They're like mid-show songs. There are certain Broadway numbers you're always going to hear. We always hear music from Greece. We all know some of those songs. We know the song 42nd Street. We know a lot of the other classic Broadway songs. I don't know that those mid show numbers, I don't know if we'll ever hear them again, but they work for the play itself, of course. And, it's always good to hear them. I haven't been to a good play in a long time, a Broadway play. But oh well, what can you do? I'm not really the biggest theater guy in the world. Um, hmm. But let me first say congratulations to, of all people, a very deserving winner, Jennifer Hudson. Why Jennifer Hudson as opposed to all of the other winners on the stage last night? Well, because she now belongs to a select few who have become an EGOT, EGOT. And that is because she has won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and now a Tony Award, and she is an EGOT. And that is her list of people in theater and film and music and everywhere, and they won all 4 awards. And she is now in the group of Richard Rodgers, Helen Hayes, Rita Moreno, Sir John Gielgud, Audrey Hepburn, Marvin Hamlish, Jonathan Tunick, Mel Brooks, Mike Nichols, Whoopi Goldberg, Scott Rudin, Robert Lopez, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Tim Rice, John Legend, Alan Menken, and of course now Jennifer Hudson. So congratulations to Jennifer. That is quite an accomplishment. And of course, if you win the Pulitzer Prize, you become, what is it? A PGOT. And if you get a Razzie instead of a Pulitzer, you become a REGOT. I don't know how they came up with all these things, but it is what it is, of course, the phrasing being used. But that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So anyway, okay, so let's get to what is going on. No, we have no war stories this week. We're done with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Well, COVID, not this week, I guess. There's always room for crime. But here's one I'm not quite getting. Let me move around a little bit. I had my foot in an awkward place. I'm reading a story that came out today. I took it from the New York Post. As I always tell people, they pick up a lot of other people's feeds. This came, the headline is Animal Shelter Bans Pro-Gun Supporters from Adopting Dogs. All right. This is the Shelter Hope Pet Shop, I guess. Yeah, shelterhopepetshop.org. Okay, here it is. In light of the recent mass shootings across the United States, a California animal shelter has announced that it is banning people from adopting pets if they don't support strict gun control measures. A statement detailing the bold new policy is currently making waves online. And the quote is, we do not support those who believe in the Second Amendment, believe that the Second Amendment gives them the right to buy assault weapons. That's from Kim Still, owner of Shelter Hope Pet Shop in Thousand Oaks, California. She wrote that on the organization's website. If your beliefs are not in line with ours, we will not adopt a pet to you. All righty then. Well, it says per the anti-gun policy, the rescue animal purveyor will conduct a 1-hour interview with prospective pet parents, so on, so okay. Says if you hesitate because your core belief is that you believe teachers need to carry firearms. Okay, you got the idea. Well, there's no A or B. I have a sort of a problem with this. Let me be clear. You've been hearing me rant about and go off on the shootings of the last, say, month for the last few weeks. Okay, fair enough. We all know what I'm saying. I'm not going to start repeating it because you can always go to one of my past shows. It is on the Skies Crescent Radio page out here. But even if, well, actually, we do have hundreds and hundreds of shootings across the country. But that is not accounting for the millions of people who own a gun. And just because people own guns does not mean that they're evil beings. Some people do it for hunting. Some people do it for as a hobby. Some collect antique guns. Some use it for personal protection if they're in whatever line of work they're, that allows them to carry a gun. I remember as a kid, if you were a jeweler, because you walk around with diamonds, you were allowed to carry a gun. That was, of course, then a simple, a basic pistol, okay, but you understand. Now, again, I may be yakking my head off about people who buy assault weapons and plan to go to schools and restaurants and malls, anywhere else they could think of, and open fire random. But for people who own a gun, there are plenty of people who happen to own guns and happen to be great pet lovers. They love their dogs. People who hunt. And there are states that encourage hunting for deer or whatever. There are people who encourage it, and dogs often are with them. And somehow telling people they cannot adopt a dog by placing your personal judgment and belief, and judgment is not necessarily a bad judge. I mean, your opinion, where you feel by, in this case, and I will use the word inflicting it on somebody else, somehow just seems wrong. Now, what happens to the dogs? Because if once you make this decision, which is fine, it's your business, make your decision. But that's a lot of people who want to adopt dogs. What happens to the dogs when you start cutting your possible adoption clientele, let's just use a number, in half, 40%. Let's go for, you're cutting a big chunk of people out that would like to adopt a dog. What happens to the dogs? Your shelter is only so big, but there are new dogs all the time. There are new litters being discovered all the time. People are giving up their dogs all the time. People have their dog gave birth to a litter. They can't, they're not looking to give them away. They're not breeders. They're mutts, plain old dogs. They bring them to the shelters. They find puppies. What happens to all the dogs that are no longer adoptable, not because of the animal itself, but because of your belief in who could have it? So they want to conduct an hour-long interview with prospective pet parents. That's great. I want to know what kind of people are adopting my dog. I want to check into what's their history with animals. I want to know, I'd like to see the home if possible. I want to know, what their credentials are as far as being pet owners, dogs, cats, birds, fish. I mean, let's face it, do they have a fish tank when they starve to death? You know what I mean? I want to know a lot of things. I want to know if there are kids in the house. I want to know how the kids treat pets, because we all know there are some kids that don't treat pets well. I want to know a lot of things. But somehow telling people who may be supporters of gun ownership, or even if they want to be supporters of the NRA, that they can't have a dog, somehow it doesn't seem fair to the dog. I mean, that's what she's not saying is, yeah, and here's her next statement. If you foster for us and believe in guns, please bring our dogs and or cats back, or we will arrange to have them picked up. Now she wants them back. I'm not seeing a provision for the dogs that are there too long. So I don't know what her plan is. She's not stating that. And there has to be a plan, because there's only so much space. You know what I mean? And there are shelters that are known as kill shelters. I am not for that. I want to give every dog a chance. I don't know what the plan is here. But again, somehow, I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I'm not for it. Like I say, there are other things I take into consideration. because certainly depriving a perfectly good animal, friendly animal of a new home somehow cannot be the right thing. At least providing the prospective owners are basically good with the animals. And I just find that this particular situation, unless I'm seeing a provision plan, then I somehow cannot agree with this. Unless there, I don't, that's just how I think about it. If you have any thoughts, leave it in the stream, leave a private message, and I'll be happy to get back to you at some point in time. Let me check in. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. All righty then. There is no particular order to what I do here, but today I'm looking. Wow, I even have news stories from today. Look at that. Wow. I'm looking at. I saw this on CNET and CNBC. Amazon will begin delivering packages by drone in California later this year. Yep. Amazon's going is going to the Mile High Club, I guess, sorry, with your boxes. These are pretty big drones. They're going to be delivering to your house. I see how, not so much how UPS and FedEx handle your packages. I see how the Amazon delivery services handle packages. So I'm hoping that the drone does a somewhat more efficient job. Not sure how it's going to work in cities, like in apartment buildings, but listen, if you're in the countryside of California and they want to lower a drone down and deliver it to you, to the driveway, good luck. Yeah, the company received approval in 2020 from the Federal Aviation Administration to fly drones, and other firms like Alphabet, Walmart, they're starting to make similar deliveries. Well, Walmart's drone delivery program already is available to more than 4 million households. I'm not sure how that works in the crowded areas. Certainly, you have to be a little more careful given traffic, people walking around. What am I saying? California, who's walking around? In New York City, you got to be a little more careful. Put it that way. But okay. Deliver with the friendly skies, right? So check with Amazon, see what remember what you're ordering can greatly determine how you want it delivered, especially if they're going to have to mark fragile, as we all know how well fragile packages are handled. Okay, the cancel culture is back. Haven't heard from them in a couple of days. So anyway, if you're a fan of Lizzo, musician, singer, she plays the flute, by the way. I forgot all about that. Lizzo has released a song called Girls, Grrrrs, which was just released. And already the cancel culture and people are offended. Why? Because in the very first verse, she uses the word spaz, S-P-A-Z. We've heard that word many times, spazzing out, spastic, spaz. We've heard that word many, many times. Now, organizations that are advocates for people with disabilities like cerebral palsy and others are now after her to change the word in the first verse. And they're jumping all over her because she used this one word in her song. Even if she apologizes, they're going to wonder why she did it, what were you thinking, that. I wouldn't change it. No, I wouldn't change it. It's up to Lizzo, but I wouldn't change it. Why? Because if she loses this argument, like so many other arguments we have in our lives, you can never win another one. Now people are telling you how to write a song. And I heard part of the song. I don't know that it's going to last. She'll make immediate success, of course, but it's not a song that's going to resonate for the next 20 years in my head, but okay. Yeah, got to cancel someone, right? So now we're going after Lizzo. Not me personally. I say write what you want. I've heard the lyrics to a lot of songs, to a lot of raps, a lot of this, a lot of that. Someone saying spaz isn't all that bad. Sorry. Either enjoy the song, get a sense of humor about yourself, or even if you're in physically a bad situation, or simply get over it. I would not want to change the word of my song. I understand why there are times when there are different versions of a song, depending on how you're marketing it. But no, no, this is one of those things where if she wants to change it, let her change it. But I personally would not ask her to do it. That's just me. Speaking of music, turns out Mick Jagger has tested positive for COVID. Yeah, they were set to have a show in Amsterdam, but he contracted it. He's got it. And Mick Jagger has to be a little careful because he's getting up there in years. He's already had heart surgery. So they have to watch out over him. He had the surgery in 2019. So, he replaced the valve. So when you have people who are getting up there in age and they've had some problems in the past, you sort of have to keep a close watch. Even though he's in excellent shape, he's still jumping around the stage. But yeah, Mick Jagger, we wish him well. So yeah, I didn't think I was going to be mentioning COVID. I forgot all about it. What else is going on? Let me scroll through these things because I also have a lot of dopey stories. Okay, well, actually, this could be enjoyable for people. Coca-Cola and Jack Daniels owner team up for Jack and Coke in a canned canned drink. It'll have 5% alcohol. It'll be in the sugar range, and the zero sugar option will be available. And yeah, you're going to have a can of Jack and Coke. Go to it. Cheers. Yeah. What can you do, right? Everything gets a flavor. What is this? What is this? What is this? Technology I may be saving for a little bit of time. Okay, we're back in New York City. Let's talk about this for a second. There are a lot of streets that are getting filthier and filthier in New York City. I mean, I'm in New York City all the time. I do business in Lower Manhattan. Where I live makes no difference because it's busy there too. And a lot of areas, especially with these outdoor dining shacks, they are forcing restaurants. This forces restaurants to pretty much stack their garbage together. And when Mayor de Blasio was in office, he called for less public sanitation pickups. Well, a lot of streets, especially the older, dirtier looking ones, are getting rat infested. There's nothing new here. Rat infested. Matter of fact, if you go into any tree and a lot of awnings, scaffolding, you're infested with flies. It's like going through like locusts are attacking. This is not, this is not surprising. Yeah. What does this here? Neighbors have, in this case, it says neighbors have a beef with a pair of Chinese restaurants in the East Village that are brazenly, I never used that word, brazenly dumping their trash, including raw meat and bones, on St. Mark's Place. So they're just putting their stuff out there, probably not even properly, handled. Local birds, seagulls are landing on the street. There you have it. Normally you see seagulls by the water, but they're finding their way to the East Village, or the Lower East Side, excuse me. That's actually East Village. But yeah, that's what's happening. And of course, the stench that goes along with it. And yes, people are not taking responsibility for their own stuff. I don't mean take it home with you, but if nothing else, please, please, please dispose of it properly. That's just what I'm thinking. Yes, this is one of those things where people don't want to go to the extra expense and there's letting everybody else deal with it. Unfortunately, the neighbors have to deal with it as well. What else is going on here? Okay, that one I could save. Here's a story that struck me odd. I was looking at my odd end stories come from all over the world, of course. So, this happened in the eastern Indian state of Odisha last Thursday. An elephant trampled a woman to death. The headline also reads that it also attacked her corpse at the funeral. A 70-year-old woman in India was trampled to death by an elephant, and her corpse was then, says this one was bizarrely attacked by the same exact elephant at her funeral. And this police said Maya Mumu had been fetching water from a well in the eastern Indian state of Odisha, as I said, on Thursday, when an elephant came barreling toward her. And that was according to Print India. It says it apparently escaped from a Dharma wildlife sanctuary. Okay, not sure how it was treated there, but I'm looking at a picture of this elephant. I'm not quite getting what happened to its back. So, every now and then an elephant is set off. Trampled the woman to death. She died of her injuries at a hospital. And then while they were doing the last rites before lighting her funeral pyre, which is the stack of wood that they burn the bodies with in certain areas of the world, the elephant returned and grabbed her body and threw her corpse into the air and ran away. I'm not sure why, but that they're not going into it. And I doubt this woman was actually hurting the elephant. But I'm looking at a picture of this thing, and a lot of times I'm looking from head to almost near its tail, all over its back. It has a darker shade of whatever's going on. It looks like the skin had been all but shaved or ripped off. I don't know what happened to this poor thing, but it escaped and it snapped. And unfortunately, somebody suffered because of it. I have no idea what happened to the elephant afterwards, and I am sure that this is going to be easy to identify. And I hate to see any animal destroyed. Somebody mistreated this animal before it escaped. Well, what else can I say, right? It does happen. We all know it happens. So let's see. We're pretty quiet in the stream today. Therefore, let me talk a little more. Yeah, I'm looking at that picture. It's nauseating me. I know. I hope it's nauseating some of you. What can I say, right? Let's see. Been a pretty quiet week for me overall before I get to any more of these ridiculous stories. There's a lot going on in science and, oddities going on, but I figure I'll take a break for a few minutes. So anyway, we're doing okay with listeners out here, doing more than some other places that we've done. I know it's not a lot on the meter, but I'm glad people are listening. And feel free to give me any kind of comment that you would like. So we're always looking for that. Also, as I was saying before, go on, besides subscribing and following the Skies Crescent radio page or my personal page, go to Jade Zabrick's page and give her a follow and subscribe, or however you feel like doing it. Support everybody. Everyone's doing their best out there. Give us a little support, show us a little love, and maybe if you have a suggestion of what to do with the Oreo, besides what I can imagine you telling me, please tell us how you want to see the Oreo handled. I would be immensely grateful. What else is going on in the world? Okay, if you are a fan of Starbucks, just be in the know that Starbucks may just start closing bathrooms to the public again. That's according to the CEO. And it says, after opening their bathrooms to the general public, Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz reportedly said store restrooms may have to close again. This was reported on CNN on June 10th, that Schultz said at the New York Times Deal Book Conference in Washington, D.C., that the company may reverse its open bathroom policy due to a growing mental health problem for employees and patrons. The policy is making it a challenge for store associates to manage its stores. Okay, let's see. We have to harden our stores and provide safety for our people. I don't know if we can keep our bathrooms open again. It sounds so dire, doesn't it? Okay, so what happened? Remember, this started a couple of years ago, in 2018, a few years ago, when two black men waiting for their friend to arrive were denied use for their Starbucks restroom in Philadelphia. That made it around the news for a while. So, of course, Starbucks made an open bathroom policy. Well, that policy does come with some drawbacks because we see how people treat your stuff. And in terms of Starbucks, we see how they're treating their stuff. People are not kind to public bathrooms. First of all, aside from, I'm not even going to say it's homeless. I'm not even going to say it's addicts, but you can get both. Let's just go with people who go into Starbucks and want to use the bathroom. You ever see what a public bathroom could look at when paid patrons are using it? They don't always care. They don't always pick up after themselves. They don't let you know if something's going wrong. They throw everything down the toilet they shouldn't. They get sick in there. They're not exactly accurate with what they're doing in there. And of course, the staff has no recourse to shut the bathroom, which also keeps them from using it, or clean it up, which, if you're going by today's workforce, is not a high-end option. They don't want to do it. Matter of fact, I see people who work in Starbucks, for the most part, really frown upon doing anything past the job description. I don't blame them for not wanting to clean the bathroom, even though sometimes it needs it. Matter of fact, I see a lot of places, not just Starbucks, where no one's even paying attention to the garbage pail, which can use a simple changing of the bag, but that always has to be prompted. But anyway, I do understand why, given how people treat public bathrooms, public restrooms of any kind, I can certainly understand why this is a problem. And of course, this happened. What prompted this in one of the stores was two people. In this particular case, the one I'm reading about, an example was two people walked into a store, wanted to use the bathroom. They were told they could not, because they're not paying customers, or only for paying customers. And of course, they wouldn't leave. So the police had to come, get them out, so on, so on, so on. But yeah, this is what happened. So again, when you're going into somebody else's place, and I've said this for a very long time, I don't care how intelligent anyone is. I don't care how thoughtful anyone is, how thoughtful they try to be. Everyone, when they go into somebody else's place, says or does something stupid. I've caught myself doing some stupid stuff along the way. So before anyone says, well, what about you? Me too. Yep, me. I've done some stupid junk along the way. But I do know how to conduct myself in a public bathroom. You know what I mean? It's just the way. I mean, I've owned a retail shop. So, yeah. You sort of, when you own, how do I put it? When you own your own business one way, in one way of thinking, anywhere you go, you see it as a business owner. And certainly I understand what their problem is. So anyway, Starbucks is thinking it over. They may just close their public bathrooms. What can you say, right? That's the story. It's okay. I still like Dunkin' coffee better. But what can you say? Okay, what else is going on here? Speaking of tragedies and cancels and all this other stuff, holy moly! Anthony Albanese is blasting KFC for using cabbage in his burgers as the price of lettuce skyrockets. And that is just wrong, he says. Okay. I got this from the Daily Mail. Anthony Albanese has declared KFC using cabbage in its burgers is just wrong. The fast food giant told customers it's using a cabbage lettuce blend due to the high price of lettuce following floods in north-southwest of Queensland. Okay. Well, this sounds like a true disaster. It sounds like I mean, really, does somebody need a hug? Said this is a crisis. My son loves KFC. When he hears about it, he's going to be devastated. I don't know how old his son is, but unless he's 2, he'll get over it. And if he's 2, he's probably not eating lettuce and cabbage anyway. So we'll get over it. But if your son needs a hug or needs a little support, I'm sure everybody around the world will fly out there and help him out. Call the cancel culture. Cancel cabbage. It may offend the coleslaw lovers, but blame it on KFC. Bring a class action suit. It never hurts to get $1.85 in the mail. What else can we talk about today? Oh man, look at this. Let me kill this volume. Okay, what is this? Oh yeah, jugging. Be careful, people. This came out of the Austin Police Department. There's always a crime wave somewhere. This is nothing new. Just reminding everyone, when you go to a public ATM, or even when you go into a bank ATM kiosk or whatever, when you take the cash out, be careful what you do with it. People are watching. There have been people who get robbed. Ladies, if you like to whip your bag out, make a whole big thing about putting stuff in there and taking it out. Taking it out. Maybe you want to be a little more careful. Please keep it tight to the body so only your back shows, even though people know that you're taking cash out. Don't go crazy. Just keep your third eye open. That story came out of Austin, but really, that could be anywhere. That's an old story. Okay, what else is going on? Let's see. Okay, this one I found interesting. This came out of a June 9th story. I got this on CNET that said scientists craft living skin for robots made of human cells. Well, lifelike. Let's just say lifelike. And that's what it is. This is, I saw this in a couple of spots. It says, what's happening? Japanese researchers conversed a robot finger with self-healing pliable sheet made of human skin cells. Why it matters? Well, helping robots resemble humans could improve their integration with our society. We'd like them more, trust them more, and communicate with them better. Okay, what's next? The team will focus on refining their prototype, make it more sophisticated and translatable into real-world robotics. Listen, I said this a while ago that things are happening fast with robots. Now they're going to try to make robots look just like people. And robots don't reason. Robots will record. They take your information. They'll be having it. They'll put an Alexa. They'll give it an Alexa mind and a walking robot that you may not know as things progress who you're talking about. Things like consciousness, autonomy, imagination, even reflexes. There's this, and second, there's the physical stuff, fluid movement, eye control, casual gait, and importantly, skin. Well, that sounds like Bicentennial Man. That's the old Robin Williams movie. That also sounds like from Get Smart. The old TV show Get Smart. They had Jaime the robot that was played by, of course, by an actor, but he was a robot. I'm telling you, iRobot, be careful. It's coming. Be careful. Listen, that's what it does. Everything in technology records. It records your information. You're talking into Alexa. Alexa, turn off the lights. Alexa this, Alexa that. God, I wish my life was better. God, I hate this one. I hate that one. Believe me, Alexa's listening. Alexa is listening. Matter of fact, so is Amazon. I'm looking at this story here from October 19th of 2021, but this is an old story that I know I've read before, but let me remind all of you. A woman was shocked to discover just how much data Amazon has collected about her. She posted about this on TikTok. They found a folder in Amazon that was recording her from her smart speakers. From her smart speakers. Again, you're talking in front of Alexa. It gathers information. Then again, they were talking about a while back. I mentioned this, I forgot how many years ago, but I know I talked about it on the show, was when they wanted dolls to be programmed to talk to children. Again, children say a lot of things. They repeat a lot of things. Or as a friend of mine referred to it, 4-year-olds, they're sort of like parrots. 3-year-olds like parrots. They repeat what they're hearing. They're not reasoning. They're repeating what they're hearing a lot of times. And imagine what you could say in front of Alexa or in front of a doll that records and everyone's getting your information. So yes, be careful with your devices. I mean, that was the experiment with cell phones. Just keep saying something into your cell phone and watch it appear in your ads. That's what happens when you buy one thing on the web. It shows up everywhere you go. Buy one thing on Amazon. Next thing you know, you're going to see it. And I do this all the time. I buy one thing on one site. Next thing is the ad is on my Facebook page. Be careful with what you are doing when it comes to technology. Yes, it feels like it's oh so great. I could tell this little thing sitting on my table what I wanted to do. Like, be careful. Your business is being recorded. I'm telling you. Everybody who puts their credit cards into their phone, be careful. Along with your Cash App, your Venmo, your PayPal, be careful. Lose your phone, someone can hack it. There's already a way on iPhone that if you think you've deleted something, you can get the text message back. There is a way to do it on iPhone. Be careful. Just because your life is easy does not make it always safe. That's the idea. Get people comfortable. They will make a mistake. Leave somebody alone long enough, no matter what situation there is, what they're doing. Leave them alone long enough, and you're going to find out what's really going on. And that is what, when a device can record what you're saying, people listening will know what's going on. That's how it works when the government bugs your house. You'll talk about your dinner and your breakfast and lunch in your car, but sooner or later they know if they want to hear it, you're going to say it. Again, Alexa, be careful. That's all I got to say. Any device that records your voice, they record. Amazon records and keeps it. It keeps the recordings. And it becomes public information because it goes through their machine. Be careful. So anyway, well, we got a few minutes left. Okay. Let's get to something more ridiculous. A woman this came out from just a couple of days ago on the 11th. I was reading this one. This came out of the Sun. A woman was trolled for starting a clothing company for other big-chested women. Okay, this is a woman that started a clothing company for big-breasted women. Well, I firmly understand that, because I completely understand that. Not everybody fits clothes well. And take it from a fat guy with a big belly. Not everything fits me well. Women who are big-breasted, I don't even know what the proper phrase is. Women who are big-breasted, well, tough to get clothing. Very tough to get clothing. There are models, there are dancers, they all have people with implants. It could be very tough to get clothing, outer or undergarment. Either way, a shirt, a bra, anything, tough to get clothing. So somebody came up with an idea. And already, because it's social media, a place where people would never say to your face what they say to you online, well, there you go. They're throwing the comments at her. And I think that is actually quite ignorant, because she'll probably make a fortune. I don't care what she sells. I think she's going to make a fortune. Somebody, as long as the clothing looks good, is made well, fits well, is comfortable for seasonal wear, whatever the line may be, whatever it is, she's going to do well. What is the name of this? What is the name of this company? Let me see. Let's see. Does it even give the name of this? Does it even give? Let's see. The woman's clothing company is known as Perfect Double D, Perfect DD. So that's what it's called. And she's now mid-sized women who wear double D bra size and up, ranging all the way up to an M cup. I don't even know what that means exactly. But okay, she started a business. If it works well for a double D bra size, I am sure she will go into other fields of clothing and it will work. But okay, leave her alone. She has an idea. Let her go with it. I am pretty sure as long as she has a good product, she's going to do well. And for the imbeciles out there who want to make fun of her, she'll be laughing all the way to the bank with your comments in the laugh section of her diary. Let's see what else. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Let's see. Well, I got this story. This actually came out from 2020, but I got a kick out of it. Flat earthers' attempt to sail to the edge of the world ends in massive disappointment. Well, what can I say, right? If Earth was flat, it would be incredibly easy to prove. But no, you can't prove it because you think you're going to go to the horizon line and fall off the edge, which if it were really true, you'd be committing suicide. But I guess you found out that the horizon line, you can't touch it. The only place you ever touch the horizon is on that old movie, the Jim Carrey movie, The Truman Show. Other than that, you are not touching the horizon line. Somehow, it keeps moving at the same pace you do. And no, you cannot, if the earth was flat, no, you cannot get to the edge of it. And the reason why is gravity. You would be pulled towards the center. You are not getting to the edge. Sorry. I hope your boat went with sails and not with fuel because you'd be wasting your time and money. And if anyone's thinking of trying it in 2022, you too will waste your time and money. But if the weather's nice, you'll have a good day on the sea, seeing what's going on. And you will also, going by your camera's distant rangefinder, you'll find out that every inch you move forward, so will the meter that tells you how far the horizon line is, because you cannot touch it. It doesn't work. And even if it was, no, it just doesn't work. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you how I know this doesn't work. Okay, let me get something that works. Okay, that's flat. Okay, where is it? Okay, this is it. This is good. This is a plain old, where am I here? This is a plain old pad. Why am I not seeing? Okay, this is a plain old pad. Got it? There's paper, there's the bottom. Notice it's flat, but in order to get to the edge of it, there has to be another side to it. What is on the other side? If the world is flat, what's on this side of it? Upside down people? But then if they're upside down on the other side of the world, it's not flat. You're able to go around. That's just the way it goes. What can you do, right? No one's getting it, but okay. No one's getting it. So anyway, good luck with that. But again, if you have a nice little boat out there, take the family, go out, cast the line, enjoy the weather. Hopefully you go storm free and just see what's going on out there. Oh my. On the well, this may be good news for people. Scientists, I got this from, where is this from? I can't even read this. iflscience.com. Scientists have invented a fourth type of chocolate. This actually came out in 2017, but I never knew about it because I don't have a big sweet tooth. But it says, rejoice, sweet toothers, there's a new chocolate in town. No, not just some fancy concoction of pre-existing chocolate. This is a first brand new variety of chocolate since white chocolate was introduced 80 years ago. I did not know that white chocolate was introduced over 80 years ago. Wow, 85 years ago. This is, what is this thing? As you can tell from the photograph, well, I'm looking at a photograph, it's fairly pink. It's ruby cocoa bean. Yes, it is ruby chocolate. Okay. I am not sure if this is out in the market yet, if it's ready to sell yet, or if it's overseas. I haven't seen it in America. Not yet, anyways. I haven't noticed it. I'll have to go shopping for it and send it to a sweet tooth friend of mine as an experiment. You know, being a diabetic, I have to live through people at times. And I do cheat, but chocolate's not really the place. I don't have a giant sweet tooth. But okay, so anyway, I have to search for this. Matter of fact, if you didn't know about it either, go Google ruby chocolate and see what happens. Maybe you can get some also and see how it is. Maybe you'll like it. Okay, let's get to the most brilliant story of the week. I can leave you on a high or a low note. Speaking of technology that records, this came out. This is actually 2019, and I haven't heard if it succeeded or not. I got this from Motherboard. This is a tech thing by Vice, okay, vice.com. And the GoPro at the time, listen, not all stories have to be new, created a camera that fits around a man's penis. A camera. So, as we know it, I hate to say it, but yeah, it's a cock can. And of course, he wears it while he's doing his thing. And I guess he gets to record, I don't know what he sees. But okay, I guess he wants to know what he sees. And there's always some stupid piece of technology for somebody. And I'm not quite sure what he's going to see. But there is a guys, if you have this thing, or if you're going to buy this thing, remember there's a camera on you. I don't mean that to laugh. Remember, there is a camera on you. Don't do anything stupid. It will be recorded. I'm sure you can upload and erase what you need. Just be careful and make sure everything is clean. You don't want to get people sick. I mean, if you're going to do things in water, don't get a shot. There are some dumb stories out there. I like to find them because there's always something dumb for me to talk about. And somehow I have the need to talk about a lot of them. Just look at that picture behind me. Now we have robots with human skin. I'm not crazy about that. However, our time here is about up. So I'm letting everyone know I'm thinking of changing the format just a little bit because all these stories are fun, but maybe we can do a little bit differently. Different is always good. Maybe I'll just do something where wearing a different color shirt. And certainly maybe, no, I'm not becoming more open-minded about Oreos. Forget it. Okay. Everybody, it's been a pleasure ranting and talking, complaining about it with you. And we will see each other next week. Yeah, I'm on the road to 300 shows. Can you believe? Yeah, that's right, Jay. Think about it. Yeah, 300 shows. We started doing this before the Donald Trump election. That's how long ago it was. Think about that. Jade's not talking. She hasn't got a microphone on, but she's looking. She's remembering how long we were actually doing this together. We started working together. It was a few months after I went on the air. And we were in Manhattan, sort of going towards Midtown by Madison Square Garden on 29th Street. I really do miss that area, not because I did so much there. It was easy to get to, and if you wanted to have guests, it was in the middle of everything, and every train ran by, and every cab stopped and came and went. It was a very convenient area. But, things change, and we moved along. But that's how we are together since a little before Donald Trump ran, not got into office, started running for office. That's how long it's been, almost 6 years ago. So yes, I'll have to see how many shows I'm up to, but I believe I'm coming up on 290 right now. So really, beginning of August, the first Monday of August would be exactly 6 years that I'm on the air. But probably the 300th show is slightly after because we had a couple of days off from when, Anyway, I thank everybody for coming in tonight. Next week, we're going to change up a little bit what's going on. I may do things in a couple of different shifts out here and just, rant for less, but twice as often. I'm not really sure yet. We'll see what happens. Okay, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Jade, thanks for being here. Before I go, Jade, you want to type in your next show into the stream? No? She's taking it easy on the promo. We're taking it easy on the promo. The only one who's going to know is me, and I'm going to hold her hostage with the information. My silence is worth plenty. Okay, everybody, have a good night. I will see you next week. Enjoy it all.